Yes. What about
Okay,
you?
thank you.
Is clear?
Sorry, guys, my laptop got stuck inside the room where my husband was doing a meeting. I was trying to
Mhm.
take it out. Sorry for that.
No,
So
no, that's
I got
fine. That's okay. No problem. So, what we're going to do today is like we'll create a flat structure data based on our wide world importers, and then we use that data for our reporting purpose, right? And why we are going to use the flat structure, so it would be uh, easier to understand, right? And then slowly we'll move on the modeling part, right? Because there are some more technical things will be involved on that. So basic what we are going to use is the SQL join and basic SQL query to design that flat structure, right? So for any reporting, we want to have some numbers that's called the fact, and then we have some dimensional information, right? So we'll try, we'll see like how we and we'll do that. And usually the same practice we follow whenever you do that is evolve, right? In a first chance, it's very hard, like you'll get everything what you want, right? But incremental way, you will evolve, you'll improve your query, you'll improve your selection criteria, you'll improve your join criteria, and then you come up with the data set that you want to use it, right? So, and we see some basic Power BI concept. So we can take any sales data. We have invoice, order, and order lines. So let's stick to the order and order lines, and we'll connect these order and order lines with the any other information, right? Just by seeing these two, you can understand two things: invoice and invoice line, order and order line, right? So within one order, you can have multiple items, right? So that goes at the line level, and the overall the your transaction that you are completing is a order, right? That you can see. And generally, I mean, this is a very good design. You can understand. Same goes to invoice and invoice line. So what does it mean? Order is the parent and order line is the child, right? So there should be a relationship between these two that will connect. So let's see that. So very simple, right click on the table and see top 100 rows, right? So by seeing that, you will get two things, columns and their values, right? So you can analyze or just do the spot check. What are the columns that will be helpful for you, right? So as you see, like the order line ID, that's the primary key of the table. That's auto increment, right? So every record will have one ID and that will be always unique. Other thing that you can confirm over here, once you expand that in a column, you can see the primary key, a black key. So that's that's the primary key. And the nature of the primary key, you know that it will be always unique and you'll never find any duplicate value on that. But that is not very relevant. This is technical field. It's not very functional field that anyone use it, right? For the salespeople or marketing people, this line ID doesn't make any sense, right? Same goes to the order ID. So as you see, like the order is a parent, so order ID is the parent that will use to join the order table with the line table. Okay. Then there is a stock item ID. So there should be a table called a stock item. So we can look into that if we need to use that or similar. There is a description we can pass through. We can, from order line, what we need: the quantity, unit price, tax rate, picked quantity. We can take it if you want. And what else we can take it? That's all, right? So let's start building our query one at one time, right? So I'll open a new window and I'll write a very simple query. Select star from what is that? Sales dot order line. You'll start from there. You run it. You'll see the same data. So now because you have a column and data value, so it will be very easy for you to put the column name, right? So what are the column I want from this table? I want description, right? Or on what other thing you can put that the O. That's also you can give it the table alias, so it will be easier to write. And although it's do not need to write it, but as a good practice, I always like the O dot and whatever the column value I want, right? So I use the order line ID, comma, O dot, order ID, comma, yeah, O dot description, because that's we know like what this item is, right? And then O dot quantity. All right. Yeah, O dot unit price, and then
Tax.
O dot tax, right? Tax rate. Is tax rate or what?
It's a tax rate.
Tax rate. Tax
Then
picking completed when? Okay. So let's pick this date also when the order was picked up, right? So might we do not need it, might we need it, but that's fine. I mean, try to get the maximum value that you might need in your report. Quantity is already there, right? Anything else you guys wanted to pick it? Quantity below description. All right.
Quantity.
Oh, picked quantity is also there. Okay. Okay. Let's see what the picked quantity is different. So let's bring that to O dot picked quantity. Perfect. So everything we got from line table. Now we need to join order table, right? So to join the order table, you can simply use the join. And I'm using inner join. I'm not using left, right, or center because I just want to see every single order that has the order number. I don't want any random abandoned order, right? That is not yet completed. So for that, you need to use the inner join when you want data should come from the both table, right? That is the matching record, right? So I'll use sales dot order. One more thing we can do like the order line. Usually I should use the OL as the order line because this is the line table and order is the O, the first letter. So I can replace Control H. The Control H will be used as a find and replace, and then you can replace ups. All right. So this is replacing wherever the order is there. So I'll prefer to find Control H again and replace with order line dot. So now it will do the good replace. Okay. So you can do that too. Yeah, yeah. So find and replace, you can use it now, right? So now order is O. And after that, you need to write on. This is the SQL syntax that you need to follow. And then you can use the OL dot order ID equal to O dot order ID. So after completing my join, I can pick any column that I want from order, right? So how do I decide what I need to pick? So simply better I can open a new query and see like the what are the columns available into which table? Yeah, sales dot order. So it would be easier to pick, right? What you want to pick, right? What is that? Sales dot orders or order? Yeah, it's orders. Okay. Sales dot orders. Okay, so now you see that the customer, definitely any order will be not complete without customer. So now order will join to customer, but let's park that. Then there is a salesperson ID. Who is the salesperson? Picked up by person ID. Then contact person ID. All these ID, wherever you see this kind of the structure, ID means there should be a table that have more detailed information. This is just as a foreign key. Okay, like we saw that order ID is a foreign key and the order ID a foreign key in order line. And then when you connect to the order, you can see all these details, right? So you can guess, right? Might be true, might be not. Once you see that, you will know. But most likely in a good database design, you see like you can easily guess like the salesperson ID will join to the party or salesperson or something, right? So all these things will be needed because without this information, your data will be incomplete, right? You want to know like the who is the salesperson of this order, right? You want to know that the who is the customer, right? So let's park that part and let's see like the what are the other things we need from this table. Can you guys order date? Yeah, order date is good. So you know that the when order was expected delivery date, right? That's also good to know. Customer purchase order number. Order number is good, right? This is just a number but you cannot do the sum, average, and it doesn't make any sense, right? But you can keep it, right, if you want. For reference, like in any report, Tableau report you are generating, where you can show like what are the order numbers customer has used, right? So I believe order numbers should be also unique, but you can do that. Um, yeah, or it should be okay. Then picking completed when again this table, this field is there in order level also and line level also. So it would be interesting to see like both are the same or it's a different, right? So we'll not go in very detail. Let's keep the whatever we need it. So we know that we need a customer because we need to join the customer ID. We need a salesperson, right? Rest of all park it for now, right? I mean, we do not need to just, yeah. So customer, salesperson, order date and expected delivery date and order number. Let's keep these things in our from order table. Okay. So you join that. Now what we need to do here, because join has been completed, so you can start using the order table. So how you use that? O dot. What's the next? Order customer ID. Okay, let's pick that customer ID. Then O dot order date, right? Or salesperson. I mean, it's always good to put the one kind of the data at one place, but doesn't matter. Customer ID, right? Customer ID. Order date. And what next? Stock item you want? No, stock item is not there. Something. Order date is there. Salesperson ID is there. Let's park that picked up and all that. Expected delivery date, if you want to use it, use that. And customer purchase order number. That's all, right? So two more field. Customer order. So O dot customer purchase order number, right? O dot expected date. Yeah, O dot expected delivery date. Okay. So we got all that things, right? And sorry, this should be the salesperson ID. Salesperson ID, right? So we got these things. We have a date that will be used to do the date compare or see that the how data will work, right? And hello? Okay, sorry, you guys can hear me, right? Okay. If you see any problem, just let me know, right? Audio related. So, okay. So now two more table we are going to join that will give us some dimensional information. That is the customer and salesperson, right? So what you need to do again? Can anybody? What should I write? Tanya, go ahead. Where? What where? We need to join two more table, customer and salesperson. Okay. So anybody? What should I write next? Invoice. No, start with the join. And then you need a customer and salesperson. So see that where is the customer and salesperson from your table list, right? Customer category. No, sales dot customer is there. And where is the salesperson? It's here, sales special deal. Not a special deal. Do you see salesperson?
Is not there. Sales order is there.
Yeah. Okay, so salesperson is not there, customer is there, and customer category is there. Customer transaction, sales dot customer transaction. No. Where is the sales dot customer transaction? Okay, you can explore that. What is there, right? So if you see that what data is there, it has the customer ID, transaction ID, invoice, and other detail, and then the tax and all those things, right? So there are a lot more things, but this is not our relevant for today's session. See what we have in a customer. So we have already joined two table, right? Yeah, we are joining 3 and 4. Why? Okay. It's to get some more detail, right? So you see that the customer has the customer ID and then customer category ID is there and the other things is there, right? So it's interesting. The customer ID is there and customer category is again parent, right? So let's explore the customer category. What sort of information we have in a customer category? Okay. So see, it has the agent, wholesaler, novelty shop, computer store, and all that, corporate and general retailer, right? So these are the information we have under customer
Category
Right. Yeah.
is dot customer category.
So let's.
Then we need to write join, like
Yeah.
simple inner join, right?
Yes. So where is our main query? Okay. So join. What we'll use? Sales dot.
Sales dot customer categories.
No. First of all, customers. See on, because you cannot jump your table, right? It will always go to the child, parent, grandparents, grandparents, right? So that way you need to navigate. You cannot jump, right? Why you cannot join the customer category? Because customer category has a category ID that you don't have, right? What you have right now is the customer ID into order table. So you can join customer. Is it clear?
Oh, okay.
Right? So that's why we'll join the customer, and our join key would be the customer ID. So I'll write the O dot customer ID equal to C dot customer ID, right?
Because both customer ID and customer ID, both tables.
Yeah, the common table, common field is needed for join. Now, as we are here, we can join the customer category now, right? So sales dot customer categories CT on, what is that? C dot customer category ID equal to CT dot customer category ID. So we have joined the customer table and we have joined the customer category table both, right? So after this join, we can pull the
Madhu sir,
information.
I have a question. Sorry to
Yes,
disturb.
please go ahead. No, go
Uh,
ahead.
can you please show me where is the say customer? I mean, like sales dot customer table. I can see the sales dot customer transaction. I can see sales
Just
dot
above that,
customer.
see sales dot customer,
Oh,
just
okay,
above
okay.
that.
System. Okay, in the
System
bracket they have
version.
Yeah,
some.
yeah,
System
yeah.
version.
Okay. So that's why I got confused. Sorry.
All right, no problem. So that's fine. So now what we need, so again, you can, what you need, you wanted to see that, then you need to go on that table and see what is there. So there is nothing much in the customer category table. That's the category name, and that is expected, right? So we'll bring the customer category name in your query, right? Let me close these things. This is
So
not
we
needed
need to
now.
see.
Yeah. So city dot, because see, customer category name, right? Any descriptive value or any date value would be in your dimensional table. You want to bring that, right? So we got the customer category name, and then from customer, what you want, customer name, right? And
Both field are common, right? No.
where is common?
Customer name. We can.
Yeah, this is the customer table.
We have customer name in another table.
No, that's category name. Customer category name.
Hmm.
And even though it will be the name, but that is coming from different tables, so you can always use that, right? So customer name is there. We got the customer category ID that is joining to the customer main table, and primary contact person ID. So there should be
As Tanya asked, the customer name and customer category name are same, right?
no, that's not same, right? Customer category name is coming from customer category table, right? And see what value you have in this. So sales dot customer category has this agent, wholesaler, nobility shop. These are the value under the customer category name. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
And in the
table we have just only customer name, right?
yeah, so the
both are different, right?
both are different. And see,
This name is a common field, right?
no, it's not same. It's not name common field. Where is the common field?
Yeah, but like here is the
Ending
customer
with
name, right?
yeah, this is the customer name, and see the value. And this is
value are different.
and see this is the customer category name. Don't confuse that. That's the category of the customer.
So when we join,
So
we
under
need
the
to
agent, some of the names of the customers comes under the supermarket. The names of the customer
Exactly.
comes under that.
Exactly.
So, okay, got it.
Exactly. So we got that, right? So that's why you need to join it, right? So, and the values, that's why it's very important, like the see that table and see the value. Might be, see, it could be possible the under the customer category, the name of the column is a name only. And in the customer also name only. Both were the name, column is the same.
Yeah.
But despite of being the same column name, their values are different, right? Because they are in a different table for different purpose, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's not very uncommon to see the name in each table. But each table name column represent to the name of that table, like a
Yes.
student name, course name, teacher name. So everywhere you may find name column, but the name is different,
So we
right?
need to check a value.
Exactly. That's why once you see the value, you can easily see that difference, right? What these values are under that table. And more you explore, you'll be more intuitive, like the what data you can find in which database, right? But right now, follow the thumb rules, select top, start from the table, and then start using the way we are doing right now, right? So customer has been joined. I just wanted to get some city and country's address so that it will be much easier to go from there. But for that, we need to explore where is my city and address, right? So there is a postal city code, there is a delivery city ID, right? So delivery city is most likely the customer city, right? Where the item has been delivered, right? There is a phone number, there is a website URL, and complete delivery address. So we are excluding address for right now,
Postal.
but you can just add these addresses, right? You can just keep adding all these into your selected statement.
Choose city. See,
Where is the city?
it's here. Postal address line 2 and the postal code.
Yeah. Postal address line 2 is also have the city information. Exactly. So let's keep it simple. We don't want to extend a lot of the time over here. So we'll use the postal address line 2 as a city, right? Might be right or wrong.
The PO box number line 1.
Yeah, but we do not need PO box number. We want
Just
city.
city. We have
Yeah.
to see just city.
So
And
yeah, we need city from this table. And then let's forget of all these addresses. I mean, you can pick whatever you want, right? That's not a problem. It's just like for our purpose, we just wanted to see and use some of that. If you see that there is a delivery city that you can join with the cities, and here is a list of the city, right? So you see that city has a city ID and it has a state ID, right? And then you can go all the way from there. So let's see, to validate, it's a good thing. So let's see over here. In a row number 4, delivery city is the 21692, right? And this city is called, what is in a address delivery line 2? Macclesfield or something, whatever is that. Yeah. So this is the address. Let's see that whether the city also have the same information. So what I need to do in the city table, where no city ID equal to oops, what is this? I want just a delivery city ID.
just copy.
This is the value I want to copy. Copy 2162, and if it is the same value, then I better to join the city table with the customer, right? Yeah, but no, this is city name is different. Medicine laws, I don't know what they have designed. Okay, so let's not, I mean, we cannot understand entire database in a one call. So let's stick to the what we decided. We need some city information, so we'll use the delivery, what is called postal address line 2, right? We'll use the postal address line 2. From this table, we have already taken the customer name and we have already taken the customer category, right? So here is that. So let's go on the query. Here is the customer category ID. We got the customer address name and C dot ID is not needed, right? All IDs are not, I mean, just I'm using to show that, but otherwise they are not very helpful. So what was that? Postal address line 2 as city. And I think there was a postal, let me just go real quickly on that. There was a postal address line 2 and there was postal city ID is also and delivery city ID. And what we are using here is the postal address line 2. Postal address line 2. So if I see 19586.
It's vendor name something.
Again, it's different.
Yes.
It's a list or something.
Medicine
this Lisco and something. I don't know what the Lisco is. So see what I'm trying to see that the how this will join with the city table, because what we are seeing here, there are different ID that's pointing to the city, but whenever we are pointing to the city, I was expecting this information, but this is not coming, right? So we'll see and explore later on this part, like what's going on. So at least we have one city in our report. So what we are needed for. So we got that the postal address is the customer city. It might be right, it might be wrong, right? But let's see. Then everything is done. One more item is left, salesperson ID, that we are not able to directly map. So we need to see that too, like the how and where we'll find that. But leave it for now. So this is done. All this table and all the relevant column has been brought here. Now run this and see how data looks like. So now this data is more clear, clean, and that will be more, you can create your report on that, right? Because all the relevant things you have moved out and some of the information that you have that you can use it, right? There is a customer name, there is a customer city, what kind of the customer it is, and all this detail, purchase order, and customer ID is there, and the tax, unit, quantity, and rate. So this is a very fat structure, right? That we have used, right? And we are not using the OLAP modeling. We'll learn that later. And but this is the data set that I have now, and I need to create reports. So now we'll go on the Power BI and see like how we can start using that. So this query is needed to bring data into Power BI, right? Because data is still in a database, and you need to bring into Power BI. And pretty much any visualization tool, any reporting tool, you can use that. If you are using SSRS for report, you'll use the same query and similar thing, right? So I'll copy this query, or best what we can do. So I do not need to worry more about that. Any guess? So that I do not need to query, copy and all that, and I can keep changing that. I can turn this query as a view, right? So I can use direct query, or I can turn this query as a view, and I can use that view into Power BI. So both possibilities are available. So right now, let's use the direct query
So
on
when
this.
we connect data,
Yeah.
we need to connect, right?
So our query is ready and it's look good, right? At least like the what are the things that we wanted to use for the report. And now I'll open my Power BI desktop. And I believe at this point, everyone has the Power BI desktop installed. And for practice, we'll focus on the Power BI and SQL Server for the query for some time until you are not very comfortable. I want like you guys are very comfortable to open the SQL Server, write your basic query, open Power BI, and build your basic visuals. That's the final outcome I am expecting all of you will be able to do without any help, right? So Divya has installed and set up all that. And Pravina, I'll take a look. Ankit, we'll see if possible this Saturday. We'll meet at the Sandhill Library for a couple of hours, so it would be easier to set up and work on that. And Swastika, if you have not installed yet, then just let us know. SQL Server and Power BI Desktop is needed. Anytime we can connect for an hour or two to see like basic software is up. They all are free of cost. There is no any cost associated with that. So just you need a Windows laptop where you can install that. Okay. So just let me know if not, because it is very, very important. Like whatever you learn, do the practice. Because until you are not doing practice, but you they say like the make your hand dirty, right?
Yeah.
So until you not jump into the pond, until you not make your hand dirty, no
You
matter,
will not
yeah, it's very, very important, right? And in a couple of times, you will feel more confident also about that. So it's very, very important, right? So you see like the very first time if you open that, it will open like that. There is a welcome message also comes that you can close it. And if you want me to see that, let's start from the scratch. So now you'll see the Power BI desktop icon. That's like a chart kind of things. And once you click like that, this is the icon of the Power BI desktop software. And you can search over here also Power BI. So you select the Power BI desktop application. That's what you need to connect. So once you open that, very first thing will pop up like, okay, what data you want to connect. So you can start directly from here, but for some reason, if you have closed that and crossed that, so the we'll see like from where you will start. So get data. So this will be on top of that under the home menu, right? So under the home menu, select the get data, and there are a variety of the data options that you can select to bring data into Power BI. What should be our option in this? Can you guess? Yeah.
SQL
So
Server.
just click on the SQL Server. It will pop up, and if you are using your local server, just you can use dot. But Divya, you need to use dot slash SQL 2022, right? Because that's the name of your instance. So just dot will
Yes.
not work. If it is
Okay, sure.
without instance, then you need to use just dot. So mine is just directly installed, so no need to use the instance name. And database name, you can mention over here or you can connect later, right? So I'll prefer to connect later, right? Or uh, if you see this import and direct query, so what is the difference between these two? Import is the highly effective, but what happens in this case, entire data will be imported into Power BI and it will become the part of the Power BI, right? So once the import is done, you do not need to go and connect the SQL server. All your visuals will work from imported data. The second part is that the data in Power BI is highly compressed. Highly compressed means like the millions of record will be compressed in the 1 GB of the size or something, right? So it's a very effective compressed. So once you import the data, like the if your flat file is the around 100 MB, after importing this, it will become 1 MB, right? The same data. So that's the way it has been designed. Direct query option we use when you want a real time, right? Like there are some scenario you want a real time counter, like how many claims has been created. So whenever somebody will open the visual, they want to see like how many number of claims has been created, right? Or how many orders has been done. So on that case, you need to have a query run when you are opening the report. So every time you interact with the report, a query will go to SQL Server and bring the latest data. So if you have a live counter requirement, direct query is good, but definitely it will be more resource consuming. And if you don't have, then import will work. Import will be the periodic import, and up to 8 times you can schedule in the Power BI service for importing the data. Because one time you import, that is not enough. Tomorrow again you need to import the data because the new data will be arrived every day, right?
Yeah.
So to keep it simple, I have scheduled this process to import data into my Power BI every once in a 24 hour, like 10 o'clock in night, right? So whatever the new order has been produced for this company, every night 10 o'clock data will be imported in my model, and tomorrow morning users can see that. What does it mean? There is a 1 day delay. User will not be able to see the reports on the data that has been created the same day, right? But usually these kind of reports are more for a strategic purpose, and your CEO, CFO use that. So everyday transaction doesn't matter. 24 hours is pretty decent transaction delay time. They need to wait for the next day. All right. And the third option is that we are going to use the SQL query, right? So if you go on the import option, then it will give you the list of the table that you want to select. So if I have created a view, then I can directly point to that view and I'll import the data. See, all the database on my server has been exposed, and I can navigate which database, which view. These are the view. Wherever see the double icon is a view and single icon is a table. Not only that, once you click on that object, you can see the what do we call it? The preview of the data. What data contains in this table, right? So if you have a view or table that you want to import in your model, then this will work. But what we have is direct query, right? So we cannot use this option. So we'll cancel that. Uh, Again, you need to go there, SQL Server dot or server name. Database is optional, and then I'll put the name of MySQL query. But as we need to point like the where this SQL query is going to run. right? Otherwise, it will not work. So I need to mention the name of the database. What is the name of database? Worldwide importers, right?
Worldwide. Yes.
So I'll just drop it. Once any object you can just drop it, then it will come in here, right? So I just drop the name object. I'll copy this. I'll go in a Power BI and see pretty much the same process you'll see for Tableau or any system. The very first option you need to do connecting the data, right? So that's what we are doing. Our data connectivity mode is the import because we want to import the data periodically, and we want to use direct query, and then we can just click OK. Excuse me. Once you click OK, it will give you the preview. And if you want to do some transformation, you can do that too. Or if you just want to load the data, you can load the data. So for simplicity, we'll just load the data. We'll work on some visuals and then we'll go on the transform data, right?
Madhukar, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you use the SQL query, instead of using the SQL query, if you're running it, if after executing, you're getting an output, right? Why don't you upload the output directly to the Power BI? Are we not able to do that?
No.
This.
No, you'll not be able to do that because see, whatever this output is, suppose that this one I want to load it into Power BI, right? So you cannot copy everything and paste it. What you need to do if you want to do that, first of all, save this result as a CSV file, right? Give it at the customer CSV, right? And
We need to save it, right?
yeah, somewhere you need to save it, and then from there you can import the CSV file into Power BI, right? Direct copy paste. And if you directly copy and paste the data, what you will do tomorrow when the new data will come? Are you going to copy paste again tomorrow, right? No. But
Got
CSV
it.
definitely. Either you need to produce the CSV file or you need to use the. That's why I say like in the border case, a lot of the CSV file you get every day, and that's what we are going to do next week as a project. How to merge multiple CSV file for insurance domain and process that. But no, I mean that's not the good idea. You can do that, but that's not a good idea, right?
Okay, thank you.
And for the reason of that note, like definitely it would be more manual and more hardworking. Every day you need to do it. And second thing is like there are a lot more dependence on that we don't want, right? We want to process should be more smooth, right? So as a query, it will automatically pull the data. Yeah, Pravina, go ahead.
So when we put the query there, so so that means we get the data we get the data fresh every time, right?
Yes. So yeah, when you put the query there and like right now, if you I load the data, let's load this data, right? So whatever the query is giving me output over here, let me close this out this because this is not needed. So I can only use the query that I need. And one more thing I can say like save this query for your future reference because this is your base query of the day one that you'll extend every day. Like still we need to add the salesperson, still we need to do so many other things, right? So you can simply save and this will be saved as a file, right? It's not going to be first flat model customer. What is worldwide? What is the name of the database? White world. No wait. Wide world. Okay, wide world. Okay. So once you save that, so even after 10 days, you can come and you can go file, open, and you can find this file and you can extend and you can save it, right? So coming back to your query, yeah, this query is there. So right now you see how many record are there? 231412. You can note it down, right? That's the total number of record has been produced by this query. Tomorrow number will grow. Like suppose that next day, in a day, they are writing 20,000 new transactions, right? So you see that the 20,000 will be increased next day, right? So being as a query, and that's you see like the usually when you're loading the data, I'm not using any where condition, right? But you may use, right? If you want a visual for only for US, then you may use like the country code equal to US, right? So some condition definitely goes there in a big enterprise system because you don't want to import everything, right? But yeah, going back to if you keep it like open, then whenever I refresh it, whatever the new data will be there, it will be loaded into system, right, into your Power BI model. Okay.
Okay, and you have pasted this query in the third column. Why we and what's the difference between third column and means
This
third
tab.
box and direct query? No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll repeat again. Just so this is my query, right? The second way, what I can do, let me do that too. Both is the same. There is no difference because creating a view, I can create a view on top of this query, right? So what I need to do, create view customers flat data, okay, as, right? So this is my view. I executed that, right? So you know that the view is a logical representation of your data, right? Table is not changing. It's just like you're combining that as a SQL and then you are running. So now if the same result I need to see, what I need to do, simply I need to write select start from, what is that? View.customer. What is the name of my view?
Flat data.
Customer flat data, whatever the view name that you have given, right? And now run it. The query is executing. And you see like 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 2 rows. So it's the same output is coming. So how the interaction with the Power BI will change view versus direct query. So in this example, we use the direct query mode. And as you see, like this is my query. And there in a Power BI, there are 3 tabs. One is for report view, one is for table, and one is for the model. Right? As you see, like once you are building the model, then your multiple table will be there and they will be either Snowflake or a star schema. On the table view, once you go there and select this, you see the view of that, right? So every record has been imported and see here at the bottom, 231412, right? So it's very important to check the number, right? There should not be any record lost. So this number is matching. It means like whatever the data you had in a database, now it is available into your Power BI model. Okay. So this is we did at the running the query, right? And we can give it the whatever the name of the customer sales, no, order details.
Flat.
Order details. Here you need to give the name more meaningful for the functional department and business. Okay. Here you don't want to use the technical name, right? Because this is the name that user, all the business user will see, right? So it's very important, like they give the meaningful name. Second, other things is also important, like the uh, all the name that you want to use, give the name that you want to see on your report, right? Then it will be easier. So this all these names are it's very important to have the functional and meaningful name of that, right? Technical name could be different, so we just use that, right? So that table is there. Now let's see that how we are going to use the view, right? So as I told, you can again go over here, right? And you can import again, right? There is no limitation, like you can only import one time, right? So what you need to go again, SQL Server. You do the same thing, and sorry, worldwide importer again I need. Okay, that's fine. Now this time it's not needed. Yeah, wide world, it's not needed now. So what we need to do, again, we are going to use import, right? We're not using the direct query, but if you want, we can use it, right? You know that difference, right? So if you need to use the SQL or store procedure in the Power BI, then you need to go into advanced option, and here you can put your name of SQL, right? Query, entire query, you can put it here, right? So what I can do, if I want to use the entire query, so I can do in a 2 ways. This is my view. This is my query that is returning the data. There's no difference, right? I mean, if somebody is like, why you are using this versus that, it's depend on like what you have available. If you have a predefined view, then use the view. You do not need to write the query. Then my query would be something like that, right? If you are using direct SQL query, but if you are using direct object, means table or view, then you do not need to go on advanced option. You can simply import and go OK, and then it will give you the list of the databases. So I can expand, import, and then you see like the customer flat data, right? So this is the what I need. I can simply select, right? I do not need to do anything. I just select that here and load data. It's clear now, Pravina?
Yeah, it's clear, but I am saying like import is like already file is there, so that instead of putting instead of using advanced option, can we select direct query option there? Means can we select the direct query radio button?
Yeah, so yeah, you see, if you are going to, okay, import at the place of the import, see, yeah, you can select the direct query. In both the option, you can select the direct query. Direct query does not means like you're using SQL or table. The direct query and import means like how your data will be treated in a Power BI, right? So when you select import means data will be loaded into Power BI, right? The preloaded before the report will be generated, right? Like data will be inside the Power BI file, right? But when you select the direct query, when you are going to run that report, then the query will go to the SQL server and bring the data.
Oh, got
Are you
it.
getting the difference?
Yes,
This
yes.
direct query does not mean like you are going to use the SQL server or SQL query or you're going to use the table. No. In both these options, these are just a storage option.
Oh,
How and where data will be stored in your Power BI file. Import, data will be loaded into Power BI file. Direct query, data will only come in the Power BI when the report will be executed.
mm-hmm.
When server will call, right? Like
Right, and in both options you can use the select a star or you can use the table selection on that, right?
Yeah, so that means when we are selecting direct query, you have to uh, paste the query in the advanced option.
N- Look, see, so now direct query, right? I'm not using the database, it's not coming, right? Because let me put the database. Yeah, you're right, you need to put the enter value.
Yeah.
So the value of the our import wide world, this is my value of the database. Let me copy that and let me go in the Power BI and I'll put it over here and I click OK, right? So see, Microsoft SQL could not find the store procedure. Oh, edit. Oh, I know that what I did. So because I have given this thing, so let me move that. Okay. See, again you can select the table, right? So is only the difference is that how data will be treated in a Power BI, right? In direct query, if you are selecting this direct query option, means data will be loaded into your report and Power BI only when the report is going to execute, right? In import option, data will be preloaded, right? Are you getting the point? The loaded means what is
Yes,
preloaded
yes.
means,
Yeah, I
right?
got it. Yeah.
It is available in the Power BI. Even the SQL server is down, doesn't matter, right? If I'll send this file to you, still you will be able to see the data and report because every data is within this file. Okay,
and if you use direct query, right?
then data will be not
If
available.
server is down, then we'll not fetch
Not
the
able
data.
to that.
We're
So
not able to see
yeah,
the data, right?
no. Only you will able to use the direct query. Only the scenario you need a direct query when like real time you want to see the report, right? So on that case, direct query will be very helpful. Like as soon as you refresh your report, it will go and connect and fetch the data how many claims have been made, right? So if a real time needed, and direct query you cannot use for every system. That's also need to be looked into. Is your system is supporting direct query or not? Real-time data fetch is supported by your system or not? Because if your source is a CSV file, CSV file will not be automatically updated, right? So it's pretty much depend on that. Yeah, Dida.
Actually, when you're loading the data from the SQL, my question is, there I can see the views and the stored procedures. So both looks like same. Like we are just saving the particular fields and making it into a proper view, and even store procedure also looks like the same. So what is the difference between the view and the store procedure, and how it is different?
So I think on the object side, you are basic good in the query. All the other object will little bit touch basis yesterday on the store procedure, right? And we know the views, right? So I mean, these are the very widely and commonly used objects, uh, and there are different purpose for that, right? So if you are talking about this list over here, I'm expanding this, right? So you're talking about these, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah,
So
the earlier ones are views. You just said that the
so
image, by
see, there
seeing
is
the
a
image,
two
we can
windows.
find the.
Yeah, if you see these two windows, double windows, right?
Yes,
Double blue window, then it's view, right? And if you see this table, then these are the table, right?
table. Oh.
So there
What
are
about
some,
the stored procedure?
and here is your function and procedure. See,
Uh,
so these are the function. Stored procedure, I believe you cannot use it directly like this. It need to be the table
oh,
valued function. So a
okay.
stored procedure will not show up here, but I guess, yeah, I think a stored procedure
You can
cannot
see
use.
SQL.
Yeah.
You
So
cannot see in
Okay.
it need to be a table valued function. You can convert your stored procedure in a table valued function. So functions, table valued function, table, and view. That's what you can see in case of the
Okay,
import.
we just convert the stored procedure into a proper table, and then we import the table into the Power BI. Am I
Yeah,
right?
or whatever the logic of that query, if simple, you can directly use the query, right? Or instead of store procedure, you can use the view. And if still you need to use the store procedure, then you need to go the table valued function, right? It's depending on
Okay.
that,
Okay,
right?
got it.
But yeah, so the pointing of that, otherwise you can use the direct query anytime, right? All right, so I think enough about the data, and a lot more times you'll work on the data. Believe me, 50, 60, 70% time you'll work on the data, right? Cleaning the data, working on that, right? So very first thing that I wanted to do here, the very basic transformation, just to give you the feel of that, is that I want to split the year from that, so I can know that every year how many customer and transaction I have done, right? So that's where you need to use the transformation, and we are going to use the customer order details data set, right? And as you see, like the number of record is a 231412, so that's matching, right? So what you need to do on that case, you need to go on the here transform data, because that's where you do the cleanup and all those activity that you need to do. The basic activity that we are going to do, we want a year, order year or picked up year, so that we can see by year, right? So as you can see here, you have this picked up completed or order date. Let's use the order date and split the year from this order date, right? Yeah, quantity and all those things we can see on the report. Just let me bring the year over here, right? So other thing you can use the duplicate column. So once you duplicate column will come here, and then transform, and see in very detail we'll learn each and every objects how they're going to work. I mean slowly in a month, not every day we can learn, but these are things that going to use for you to work as a whatever that you wanted to use it, right? So we have a format of, if you see like the trim, uppercase, lowercase, and all those things, format is there, right? And date and time is there. I just want year, so I use the year. So see, once I use the year, the month and date has been dropped from this list, and I can this whatever I can do that order year. We can give the name of the order year. It's very easy. It's not complicated. What you need to learn in the Power BI, where you need to do what, right? That's all. So now I have a year, so I can see the sales by year. And what I need to do next, we can simply close and apply. So now you see in the apply changes, so it will follow all the rules and it will regenerate the data. So if you see in order details section, you should be able to see one additional column that's called the order year. See here order year. But in the other one, you don't see the order year over here, like because of the. So we got the order year now, and So now let's work on some visuals, some basic of the visuals. I'll take 10 more minutes and then we'll conclude, right? So these are your visuals, right? The different kind of the visual that you want, you can use it. So just try that. Click on these visuals. And in this visual, you have a legends, you have a values, and you have a details, right? So what I can use that, I can use the order here, right? And then I can use my order quantity, right? So every year, how many orders I have done. So now this is the visual is ready, right? Okay, I'll simply copy this and paste it, and I can add it over here. And now from the quantity to I want to add the price, right? So I'll add the unit price, and some of that will become the total price, right? And instead of this chart, I want to use this chart, right? Or this chart, or I don't know. You can just play around what chart you want, right? So you can see like this is your yeah, some of the unit price that comes on that, right? And one more thing you can do, just remove this one. There is a other component calls, that's the scorecard. So if you use the scorecard over here, that you can use for the total value or anything that you want. So I want the total quantity or total unit price, some of that we have ordered. So if you add that, it will give you that total. We have done so far all the business of the 10.46 million, right? Value. That's the worth of the transaction that we have completed. So the scorecard is very, very helpful, but it's keep the discrete value. And there are some other scorecard also that can hold the multiple value on that, right? So we'll change it. Just let's use one more card, and that card will tell you how many unique customers are there, right? So what I need to use the customer ID, because each customer ID represent to the one customer, and we can use the count distinct. So as you see, like these are different aggregate functions is there, sum, average, minimum, maximum, and all that. So I'll use the count distinct. So total distinct customer is just 663, right? So this is the total customer I have in this company. This is the total revenue that I'm generating. And this is the total of the unit price. I'm not using deduction and all. And the next I can add in this is the one tabular representation of that. And what I can add the category. So what is the category name? So I can add the category name as a yeah, let's as the row and add the columns, and then or let's add it here. And then I can use the order year as a column value, and then I can add the again unit price over here as the values, and total quantity. You can add the tax rate also if you want to apply, right? So it will keep growing on that. So don't add so much things on that because it will become the complicated. So let's keep that the unit price and some of the quantity, right? So this would be your total data looks like this. So not very kind of the fancy, but at least a very good visuals dashboard that you have built that can be used, and it will be very helpful. So if you click on any section, you see like the data will be filtered out automatically. So like if I clicked on this 2014, so 2014 total number of transaction is the value is the 3 million, and 640 customer is already there, and all you can see like the your distribution of that data across that. One more thing would be very helpful. This is the distribution by year. All these visuals are interconnected by default, right? So whenever you click on any of the section of this data, it will automatically filter the data, right? Because they are interconnected, and that's very, very helpful. And that's the one of the part of the visualization and visuals, and that's where the company are investing more. Like they want a more person who can create a visuals, because it's very easy to find what's going on in your business, right? Whether it's small or big. So what other things will be very helpful? So this is split by year, and then I'm going to see the same split by category. So where is my customer category? I'll drop this customer category into legends, and you see like, see just a very simple visuals, and I can say like lot of that 71% business is coming from the novelty shop, right? So you can easily just by doing this, you can say like this company, importer company, export import, whatever they do, their main business is the novelty shop, right? So they are more focused on this, right? But if they see like, oh, gift store is only 6%, but there is chances of that we can increase it, then they can focus on that too, right? So those are the things that you can do. One more last thing I'll add over here, and then we'll conclude today's class, right? I mean, you will start playing around and you learn. It's not very complicated, right? And just I wanted to give you like the how this entire process works. And believe me, as an analyst, you are going to work uh, every 8 hours around that, right? So you will get expertise for sure, right? So other thing that I wanted to add is that's called the filter, right? That's called the slicer in Power BI. So I'll add the slicer over here. So definitely like the one thing you can do, like you can filter over here, but adding the slicer over here will make it easy. So I'll use again the order here over here, and I can say set the property to if you click over here, there are three options. This is the visuals. This is the format where you can change the appearance and the how it look like for any your visuals, any visual component. So in the slicer setting, I want to use this as a drop down option, right? So instead of between, I can use the drop down. So it will come like this. So this is my report slicer that will be here. And I can add one more slicer. You can simply copy and post. And this would be my category slicer. So I can need to go on these visuals. And then I'll drop this order and I can add the customer category over here. So all the category will come over here that you can select, right? So see, what is the difference when we added the slicer over here? Definitely by clicking on that, it will filter out the data, right? Now it's only novelty, right? But instead of that, you can apply, and to unfilter that, you need to click somewhere out of that, so everything will be applicable. You can select from here also. I want 2015. So see, every data will be only 2015. Within the 2015, I want novelty shop. So you see the novelty shop is here, right? So that is your call your slicer that will impact on all your visuals, but definitely within the visual also everything is interconnected. So that's all. We learned some of the graphics. We learned about the scorecard. This is called the scorecard. So one of the common question in interview they will ask, which scenario, what kind of the visuals you are going to use, right? When you will use the scorecard. So a scorecard will be used when you want to show the discrete value, right? Anyone, like the claim counter, how many claim has been done today, right? Who is the highest earning salesperson, right? What is the total sales done by this store today, right? So those kind of the discrete unique value goes as a scorecard. Pie chart, you know that if you want to use the distribute the data across the multiple options, then you'll use the pie chart, right? And so, and definitely slicer, whatever slicer you want to add it, you can add it, and you can work on that. This is your matrix report. So I think pretty much that's what I wanted to show you today, and now you guys can start doing the practice, and more you learn about the visuals, how it works, and unconnect and all those things. So far, any final question or thought?
Yes, I have a question.
And you
Madhukar,
give the
actually,
never sales dashboard. Yeah. And this thing, one more. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, when we start doing some projects in the companies, definitely we will have the requirements of the stakeholders in our hand. Accordingly, only we will write our query SQL queries, and then we pre-process our data and everything, and then finally we prepare the visualization and may convert it into a dashboard. Am I right? Without a requirement, we just like that they give the data and ask us to prepare the visualization. Do you think that happens? Like Otherwise, like there will be the requirements, like what they are expecting, what they want us from us, so that like kind of step by step things they need from us. Do we have that in the beginning itself? Otherwise, it's like slowly by stepping into the project and going digging in, learning ourselves, and after then whatever, just by giving our output, from there they will start asking the questions, what will be the
So,
scenarios
okay,
and
let me save these visuals. Okay. Who is expert on the visuals in company? Who is the
analyst.
storyteller with the data?
Data analyst is the one who is expert in the visualization. He's the one who has to, he or she has to explain them
So
through the
tell the story
dashboard
through the
and
data,
reports.
right?
Yes.
Exactly. So in a requirement side, you will only get the requirement. Like, see, there is a two kind of the requirement comes. It's a very good question, and it's very important everyone understand this part. One is the regulatory requirement, right? So when you work on that's pretty much goes as like this as this report, tabular report, right? So when it comes to the regulatory requirement, everything is predefined, right? Because the authority like the finance department or IRS wanted to send the data in certain format, right? So on that case, you need to produce a report in certain format. So on that scenario, your actuaries, your underwriting head or finance head will even give you the mock-up, right? They will give you the mock-up in Excel, which column should come first, second, third, how it look like, what decimal rounding would be needed, right? So pretty much every characteristic that they are looking for, they will give you, right? So that's the regulatory requirement. But if you are working for the visualization and dashboard, pretty much that goes to data analyst, what visuals will be best suitable for telling the story, right? So that I have never seen like the customers coming with like, okay, like this is what I designed, right? You never see like the customer is coming or underwriter or CFO is coming like, okay, this is the outcome you want, they want to see this like that, right? That only happens if they are already mature and they are using certain visuals, then they are very used to. So if they are doing the technical transition, right, they are already using the Tableau and now they are going in a Power BI. On that case, they will give you the Tableau report and they will ask you to regenerate the same report in a Power BI, right? But if you are building the visuals very brand new, it's a collaborative effort. You will work, show and tell, like, does it look good? They say, like, oh, no, I don't want the blue theme. Can you make it the purple theme, right? Or something, whatever is that. I don't like this. Can you do that, right? But pretty much that will go with you. And only the requirement that you will get, they will give you and 5 or 10 fields, right? They'll not give you every field. They will give you like the I need order quantity and customer name. Can you build a report? That's it, right? Then you need to do the back and forth communication like what about this, what about that, what about this, what about that, and then you build the visuals, mock-ups, share that. So that's pretty much goes to you because you are supposed to be the expert of visuals, not them.
So do I need to ask questions to the program manager, otherwise to the directly to the stakeholder who is giving the requirement to me?
I mean, see, it's depend how you are placed, right? If it's a big team and mature, then above you there should be a supervisor, team lead, or even the might be the analyst, but senior analyst who is already working in a company. So they maybe do and prefer to do the communication first, right? But at the one stage, you need to come up, then you can communicate to that lead and supervisor like, hey, how it look like, I'm getting this problem or this visual, do you think is right or wrong, right? So but one thing I am sure going to say, whoever is the customer, whether you are directly talking to the stakeholder, that's your finance guys who is giving the requirement, or you are talking to your lead, the feedback and communication is very important, right? So and the best way to feedback and communication, whatever you get it, just mock up that, build that, do that and send them, and then you can do on top of the feedback and communication, right? So it's very very important. I think like to be a successful analyst is very important to have a good feedback and communication, right? Because 90% case you get the requirement just few fields, they will drop an email, hey, can you build a report that will have the order number, quantity, and customer detail? That's it. Where is that order? Where is the customer? You need to figure it out either by yourself or with the help of a senior person, right? I don't want
If
to
they are
scare you guys.
asking,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I
No, no,
interrupted
go ahead.
you. If they are asking only few fields and it looks very simple, for that I have to think more and then create some, I mean, I mean, I have to create some metrics and I have to give them some combined report. How
Hmm.
does it looks like combined field or
Right,
something like that? Different
right,
things and show
right,
them. Is that what you're telling?
right. And if there is a business analyst in your project, then more about the business side of that, like they're saying, like, okay, how the unit price will be calculated? Is it average or is it sum, right? It's a very simple, so we can use anything. Then those kinds of question may go to the business analyst also, right? So it all goes to the team dynamics, how many peoples and setups are there, and how many roles are working on this data project, right? Could be like a one man army where you are doing everything, or could be like every role has a different person, right?
As in job.
But your experience is the 3 years, so I'm 100% sure. Initial 6 months, you will get a senior person who will help you. Whoever is that senior person, whether it's a lead or whether the director or VP, doesn't matter. Someone in a company who is senior will always help you what data you will find where, right? So, and what kind of the report and visuals needed and those kind of things. So it's very important, like you understand who is that person and have a good relationship with that person, right? So that you can freely you can discuss and share your finding and reports and all that.
Okay. If What about the dash commands? It's like, is it? I tried few dash commands and it came out well, but I feel like it
That's
is
okay.
yeah, sorry, DAX commands,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's little difficult. Each and every visualization we mostly use this DAX commands. Am I right?
No, no. See, did I use any DAX command?
No, you didn't.
Right. So definitely DAX command. You cannot build a complex visual without the DAX command, right? Because any measures that you are going to create, you are going to use the DAX command, right? DAX command is top of that what you have, right? But at the basic level, y- y- I'll say like the you need to have an understanding of the DAX command, but that's generally goes to the senior analyst, right? And
Okay.
I don't think in the very early stage you are going to work on that. I mean, you need to work on that, right? But a lot more thing you can do with the M query. So whatever the transformation we did, like the we converted year date to year, right? That was the M query, right? And then you need to build your measures through the DAX command. So you need to learn DAX for sure, but it's depend on the you're going on a Power BI. If you're going on the Tableau, the syntax and command will change, right?
Okay.
So I'll say like don't focus much on that right now because you don't know what visualization tool you're going to use. Like I mean, Praveen are going to use the Looker, right? That will completely change the syntax and the structure how you create a measure, right? Because once the technology change, the way to write the query and syntax change, right? So basic understanding, and we learn like the how to create the basic measures using the DAX, right? But DAX is really complicated language. It's not the like a SQL, right? For sure. It will take some time to understand around how DAX works when you go to the complex measure, right? So at this point, I'll say like until unless you are not going to work or your job is not in a Power BI, don't focus much on the DAX. Just basic syntax and structure of the DAX, that's enough.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other follow-up question so far?
I just have one question like
Yeah, Priyanka.
on the right side
Hmm.
we have those measures and dimension, right? So
Yeah.
what's the symbol here? Like a summation is a summation symbol is a dimension or a fact, means I want to know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. So as you see, like some of them are like this, some of them like the sigma sign is there, right? And some of them like the table, and then you see the hierarchy, right? So these are the represent different things. This is just your flat things, and wherever the number and integer is there, that's come as a sigma sign, right? So that's considered as a fact. But for the matter of fact, customer ID is not a fact, right? But because it's an integer number, that's why the sigma sign has been added, right? And any dimension or descriptive where the varchar is there, that's you see like the just a customer name, order number, and all this is a varchar, right? So, but definitely the picked quantity, that's your fact, right? That you measure, you can that you call the measure, the field value of the fact is measure, that you can add sum average, right? Quantity that you love to see the sum average and those things, tax rate. So these are definitely true. The salesperson ID is integer, but it's still coming as a measure. So, but that's not measure, right? So these are the signs. Hierarchy is like the date is a natural hierarchy, right? Why is called the natural hierarchy? Because you know that after year there is a month, after month there is a date, right? And after date there is an hour, minute, and second. So that hierarchy is automatically generated by Power BI. You can create your own custom hierarchy, right? So by adding the hierarchy, the advantage would be like if I'm dropping over here, just I'm adding, let me remove this, and I'm adding the date hierarchy, right? In a column section, in a row section. Let me add that. So what will be happen? Once you drop the hierarchy, you see that the collapse and expand button. So within the 2013, you can expand it and you can see the quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. So Power BI has automatically generated that, right? Because you understand January to March is the quarter one, June to whatever that is the quarter two, right? And within quarter one, you can see like the Jan, Feb, March is automatically there, right? So this is called hierarchy. So for any date, Power BI automatically generates the hierarchy, right? If you go on the January, then this is the 1st of January sale, this is the 2nd of January sale, this is 3rd of January sale, right? So that's the hierarchy. And that's what you see as a hierarchy sign. You can create your own custom hierarchy. We'll learn at the advanced level. But yeah, this is hierarchy, and you understand hierarchy, what does it works and how it works, right? That make it slicing. This is called the slicing of the data. So this make it very easy slicing of the data. As you can see, like 2013, you have a lot more business than the 2016. 2016 was the lowest, right? And the reason is that there is no quarter three and quarter four, right? So hierarchy really gives us a very easy way to slice your data, and you can navigate on that. Does this answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. And yeah, so that's all. I mean, start with the basic, just do some basic practice. You cannot do anything wrong. Just put the visuals, play around that, set on that, and see. The biggest confusion for the new learner would be I did it, but once you try to do that, you'll see like where is the option? Where was that, right? So that is the only biggest problem with the any visuals and the Power BI, because everything is there. It's just you need to figure out what option is where, right? So that's the only thing. It's not a very complicated programming is needed, right? So it's the main thing is that you need to learn what you need to do and where you need to go, right? And that we'll learn slowly. That's don't worry about that, right? All right, so that's all today. And set up the SQL Server and Power BI on your local machine so that you guys can do the practice, and we'll learn more, and we'll go from there. Okay. Believe me, it's not complicated, and that's why like the data analyst is a good position to target for non-technical guys. Because in a month, if you practice every day 1 hour and 2 hour, you just open the Power BI and do something, and watch the video for more specific and details, and then pretty much you'll be very good, right? You'll be pretty confident, like you can do any reports and visuals, right? And same goes for the transformation also. We'll focus more on the transformation, because visual is the one time of thing. There is nothing much you can do that. All are predefined. As you see, like the predefined is there, just you drop and configure it, right? A lot of effort will go to prepare your data, and that's where we'll focus, and slowly we'll learn. But whenever you get a time, play around, work with that, and mainly you need to remember like what are the options is available where. That's all. All right. So that's all. that's all for today. If there is no any question, then we'll close it. It's a 30-minute above, but I think it's worth it and it will be very helpful as it's recorded, so you guys can see and watch, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you guys. Good night.